Project management, weekly question. Okay, so this one comes from an online student in Sydney, working in construction. And the question is it, and you've probably heard this one before, is it good practice to under-promise and over-deliver? So you think about that for a while. What do you think? Is it good practice to under-promise and then over-deliver? Alright, I actually thought about how to best answer this, and I'm going to give you 3 different situations. Because there's no yes or no, as you've probably just worked this one out. Purely from a bid proposal. So I'm putting in a tender, a proposal, whatever it's going to be. If I under-promise, if I'm saying, look, my company is able to, and we are going to deliver here, but using the philosophy of under-promising and over-delivering, I'm going to pitch here. Right, so I've under-promised, and let's say this is the industry expectation, and I'm delivering above industry, okay, to here. Purely from a bid proposal, it's a bad thing to under-promise, because the people evaluating this, the evaluation panel, they're going to look at this and person 1, 2 and 3 are going to say, well, hang on, this is where our focal point is. We're making the decision based on what you've said you're going to do, not some futuristic sort of solution. Okay. So purely from a bid proposal, I'd say no. And I'm not going to go into ethics here, but purely from a bid proposal, what you do tend to get is obviously the super overpromise, the Z. This is the industry expectations. This is what you possibly could do, but this is what we're going to pitch because we want to divert the focus of the evaluation panel and say, look, judges on this stuff, we're awesome. All right, scenario number 1, under-promising isn't going to work because you're not going to get the job to begin with. All right. Scenario number 2, I figured from a contract management perspective. So if you've gone through and said, look, this is what we promised, and now we're going to have a relationship with the client, purely from a contractual management point of view, this is where you should deliver. You should deliver to what you said in the contract, the implicit requirements of the contract. If you start delivering over that, purely from a contract administration point of view, and it depends on the company, but realistically, you could be in breach of the contract because you're not delivering to what you said you were going to deliver to. And your version of over-promising might actually be degrading the services for the client. Actually, on a side note, a good thing to look up is our grade versus quality video, because what you might be thinking is, I'm going to increase the grade, I'm going to use better materials, I'm going to make a higher grade version of this for the client, which is me over-delivering. But that might actually be a resultant decrease in quality for the client. So have a look at the grade versus quality article. I'll try and provide a link for it because that actually helps out with what I'm talking about here. So from a contract management point of view, no, it's not better to under-promise and over-deliver. So when is it useful? Because a lot of us think that's what we should do, that's how we should roll. We should under-promise, over-deliver. Third situation, it might be acceptable. And this is from a customer retention perspective. So I've gone through and I've pitched this to my client. Somehow I got the job. Even though I under-promised, I still got the job. From a contract management point of view, the company I'm working for goes, yeah, that's fine, look, we realise it's actually a benefit for us. Over-deliver, that's great. So what I've done here is I've actually made, from my initial proposal, this is what I said I was going to do, and I've gone through and I've delivered to this level. I've actually made a happy client. Because purely from a consumer behaviour point of view, if someone says they're going to do this and they get this translates into a feeling of satisfaction. And if you satisfy customers, if you get them to the point where they're super delighted, they effectively will stay with you. They become loyal customers. So, situation number 3. Yeah, from a customer retention point of view, from a loyalty point of view, of goodwill, yeah, I think it's probably not a bad thing to under-promise and over-deliver. But, and here comes a caution, so it's usually a bit of an asterisk here. Be careful with this, because if it's not sustainable, you could actually turn customers into disloyal customers. What I mean by that very quickly is, let's look at these 2 factors. Level of expectation, what you expect from a service, product, good, whatever it is. And this has been based from your past experience and also what's been said in the promise. And then what you're going to compare that with is the level of actual service that you've got. Okay, so initially this was our level of expectation because we said you're going to get that, and then you've got a level of actual. If the level of actual is greater than the level of expectation, you go dissatisfied. If the level of actual is less than level of expectation, generally you become dissatisfied. Okay? If they're equal, you become neutral. You don't care either way. Studies have shown to make customers loyal, you need to keep them satisfied to the point where they're delighted. Right, let's do my favourite bit and throw some numbers into this game. Okay. So, you've got 0, and then you've got 10, level of satisfaction. 10, you're super stoked, you're delighted. -10, you're super angry. And I'm going to run something, and 0, you're neutral. And this is based on your level of expectation and the actual service delivery. So, I don't know if you know this, but I own a small coffee shop. That's a lie. Okay? But in my made-up coffee shop, I really want to get my customers loyal. So what I do is when they walk in the door and they ask for their small coffee, I give them a large coffee for no extra charge. Okay? And I also give them a muffin. I can't draw a muffin, but this is what a muffin looks like if it was to be drawn. And I give them a muffin free of charge because I want to make my customers loyal. Great. So you came into my coffee shop, you're expecting this small coffee, you got a big coffee, and you got a muffin for the same price. Your level of expectation have been exceeded by my level of actual service delivery. You're excited, you're delighted. And studies have shown delighted people, firstly, they're happy and they're loyal and they'll come back, but they go and tell their friends because you just got an awesome thing. And loyal people go and tell 2 to 4 people about this place, about my coffee shop. That's great. The issue for me is when I realise that I can't afford to do this. I'm losing money every time I give someone a large coffee and a free muffin. So I'm going to take this away and just go back to my standard offering of no muffin and no coffee because seriously, you're paying for this, I'm going to give you this. The problem lies in this. These people now are expecting that higher level service. So their level of expectation is over here. When I give them this, they're no longer neutral. They're no longer going, look, I asked for a small coffee, I got a small coffee. They're going, hang on, we came here explicitly because we're going to get a large coffee and we're going to get a free muffin. We're now angry. We feel we've been wronged. And we're dissatisfied. The term they use for this in a lot of the studies is quite amusing. Most of the work was done before this became an issue, but these people are referred to terrorists for your project. These ones being advocates, these ones being terrorists. And for some reason, terrorists have got more friends than advocates. they've got about 7 to 14 friends. So they go and tell 7 to 14 people why your business is bad, why your project is bad. And if you think from a stakeholder management point of view, a lot of IT projects get this with end users. This kills your project because it's such a destructive force within your organisation. Throw in what's happened since then is the social media multiplier. Facebook, MySpace, whatever it is, you get angry, you tweet about it. I still, to this day, don't even know what tweeting about it means. But you're telling more and more people, your reach has increased. So this model can actually have a destructive force on your project and your business if it's not sustainable. So if you can keep making small improvements, if you can keep over-delivering, I guess, to a point where that becomes your new norm, I'd say that's sweet. Because if you don't do that, the industry is going to do this anyway, and you're going to stagnate and lose. But if you're doing this, if you've got massive variability in service delivery, and people's expectations are made to fluctuate, this is not cool. And at every point here where you deliver a great service, you're going to end up with a massive curve at the end where that service isn't kept at that level and people then become dissatisfied, and the magnitude of dissatisfaction, as you've seen, is much larger than the magnitude of satisfaction. So, that was a long answer and I'm sorry for that, but for me, I'm going to promise and I'm going to deliver to the promise. I know it's boring, but I think that's it. Case by case basis, there are exceptions obviously because you can't just do project management by numbers, but for me my rule would be promise to your standard that you know you can deliver to, then deliver to that standard. If you've got an opportunity to over-deliver, special circumstance, let them know, hey look, I'm doing this because this has occurred, which has given us the opportunity to deliver to this level. It's not the norm. Don't expect this next time. Right, hopefully that's answered your question. Again, thank you. Comments, emails, blast me if you want. I don't know everything. Have some fun. See you guys.